For Pluralsight, I'm David Tucker, and this is Cloud Tracker on Amazon Web Services. May was a busy month for AWS, so that means we have a lot of announcements, platform updates, and learning resources to get to. And as a teaser, if you're interested in serverless development, you will want to stay tuned for the featured resources that we have this month. So, without further ado, let's dive in. At Pluralsight, we know that one of the biggest challenges cloud developers, administrators, DevOps engineers, and architects face is keeping up to date with new services, concepts, and resources. And that's why we're bringing you Cloud Tracker. My name is David Tucker, and I am an author at Pluralsight and a cloud strategist. And I am your host for this series as we walk through this month's announcements, platform updates, and learning resources for AWS. Now, let's jump right into our featured announcements for this month. Up first, we have a new container service, AWS App Runner. This container service is designed to make it even easier to launch a container-based web or API application on AWS. The service takes care of configuring load balancing, encryption, scaling, and application monitoring. It even connects your source repository or container registry and automates the build and deployment process. This service is now generally available in 5 regions: US East 1, US East 2, US West 2, EU West 1, and AP Northeast 1, with more regions to come in the future. AWS Copilot has also been updated to support AWS App Runner. Next, AWS has announced a new compute service at the edge, CloudFront Functions. This gives you another solution to leverage besides Lambda at the edge. This service is designed to add minimal latency to each request. Unlike Lambda at the edge, CloudFront Functions works within process isolation. Now, these functions that you write for CloudFront Functions will be written in JavaScript, but they can cost 1/6 the cost of a Lambda at the edge function. Now, these functions are designed for minimal transformation of requests, including things like URL rewrites, header manipulation, or token validation. There are limits, though, around what this function can do, including the fact that its maximum execution time is 1 millisecond. Now, this service is available for you to leverage today, and there is also integration with the AWS console to make it easy to test out. Next, AWS announced Lambda extensions last October as a public beta. This solution brought a way to run a process alongside the Lambda execution environment. As of May, this functionality is now generally available with some additional capabilities added to its toolset. This feature of Lambda enables your Lambda functions to integrate more seamlessly with AWS and third-party services. The primary reason that this is leveraged is for observability services, and it launches with support for many third-party vendors including Splunk, Lumigo, AppDynamics, and New Relic, while providing new integrations for AWS services like AppConfig, CodeGuru, CloudWatch Lambda Insights, and the AWS Distro for OpenTelemetry. I've included a link in the episode notes to help you get started with AWS Lambda extensions. Next, Amazon ECS Anywhere is Amazon's portable container service, and it was announced last year as a beta. This service is now generally available, and it enables you to run the container service on your own hardware. This provides a container orchestration environment within your data center without having to manage another tool besides the one that you're using in AWS. This service can work with any region where ECS is supported, with the exception of the AWS China region. Now, I've included a link to a blog post that will walk you through how to get started with this service. And I've also included a link to a post that will show you how you can set up a Raspberry Pi cluster at home for use with ECS Anywhere. Next, the application migration service from AWS is now also generally available. This service is designed to help with lift and shift migrations of applications into AWS. This is the result of AWS's acquisition of CloudEndure back in early 2019. This service is designed to reduce the headaches and error-prone manual steps required to shift business applications over to the cloud. This service is now available across 9 regions, and you can read the announcement post which I included in the episode notes to see if it is supported in your region of choice. Next, we'll be diving into our list of platform updates and content that you should be familiar with. While these might not be as big as our featured announcements, these updates could impact the work that you're doing on the platform. And to be honest, we have a lot of things to get to this month, so I'm just going to dive in. First, you can now leverage predictive scaling as a native scaling policy for EC2 autoscaling groups. This was previously only available via AWS autoscaling plans. This approach leverages machine learning to make an intelligent decision about your needed capacity based on real-time data and historical patterns. While this isn't available via CloudFormation just yet, you can leverage it via the console, CLI, and SDK. Next, you can now monitor your containers that are running on ECS, EKS, and Kubernetes on EC2 with CloudWatch application insights. This solution should make it easier to quickly set up monitoring, configure metrics alarms, and gather telemetry data for containers running in any of these environments. This is available in all public regions, and there is no charge for the service. Instead, you only pay for the other resources that it creates. Next, we have a SageMaker update, and I should say that I expect a ton of additional AI and ML announcements next month, since the AWS ML Summit is happening on June 2nd and 3rd. For this month, SageMaker Autopilot is adding automatic deployment for the best trained model. This enables you to easily deploy an inference endpoint immediately after the Autopilot training process completes. Next, AWS Amplify now supports server-side rendering for Next.js apps. This means that setting up SSR within a continuous delivery pipeline is now easier than it has ever been on AWS native services. I have included a link to a blog post that will walk you through all the steps you will need to get started with this feature. Next, you're now going to be able to launch DynamoDB global tables using CloudFormation without the need to use CloudFormation custom resources. With this update, global tables can now be more easily integrated into your CloudFormation stack. Next, we have another link between AWS Step Functions and Amazon EventBridge. With this integration, you can now publish events to an event bus directly from your state machine without the need to utilize a Lambda function. This integration allows for you to publish the event, and if you're using the standard workflow, you can also leverage the option to put the event and wait for a task token. This update is available in all regions that support both Step Functions and EventBridge. Next, AWS local zones extend an AWS region and enable you to deploy infrastructure close to geographic areas where a full AWS region does not exist. AWS announced this month that the local zones for Boston, Houston, and Miami are now generally available. I've included a link to the AWS local zones page so that you can learn more about how to integrate them into your cloud workloads. As a note, AWS has announced an additional 12 local zones within the US that are not yet generally available. AWS Systems Manager now includes an integrated incident manager that is designed to help you resolve critical issues more quickly and collect learnings that can prevent future issues. This capability includes the ability to provide notifications, execute automated actions, and even suggest post-incident action items. This capability also includes integrations with third-party solutions such as Jira Service Desk and ServiceNow. To get the list of regions where this capability is available, check out the release announcement link that I included in the episode notes. Next, we have two announcements related to the AWS CDK, or Cloud Development Kit. And anyone that knows me knows that I use the CDK a lot. First, AWS CDK v2 and the Go SDK are both now in developer preview. With the addition of Go, this means now you have yet another language to use to define your cloud-based infrastructure. The next version of the CDK, version 2, consolidates all of the stable constructs into a new single package, AWS CDK lib. Updating, in most cases, is as easy as rebootstrapping your environment and updating some of your import statements. Next, there is now a deeper integration between the CDK and the Serverless Application Model, or SAM. This integration is a public preview that enables CDK serverless applications to leverage local testing of Lambda functions and API gateway endpoints without having to perform any additional steps to link the two tools. I've included a link in the episode notes that walks you through this integration step by step. Finally, I have two updates for organizations that are building SaaS solutions on AWS. First, AWS has provided a new tool, the Application Cost Profiler, to help organizations building multi-tenant applications to accurately determine the cost and relative margin for each tenant. Next, the SaaS Factory team at AWS has released AWS SaaS Boost as an open source project. Previously, it was only available as a private preview. This solution, launched at reInvent last year, helps organizations migrate solutions to a SaaS delivery model. I've included links to both the announcement and the repository on GitHub. Every person working in the cloud has to deal with the challenge of determining how to continually improve their skill set. This is a problem that we're going to help you solve here on Cloud Tracker. Today, I'm going to share a massive resource with you focused on serverless development for AWS, and this resource is found in the Pluralsight content library. Earlier this month, Pluralsight launched a complete 11-course and 5 interactive lab learning path designed to help developers create serverless applications in the cloud. I actually created all of the video courses in this path, and another author, Garrett Hopper, created all 5 of the interactive labs. This path focuses on concepts like hosting single-page web applications using S3 and CloudFront, creating an API tier with AWS Lambda, API Gateway, and DynamoDB, implementing an event-based architecture with step functions and Amazon EventBridge, configuring authentication and authorization with Amazon Cognito user pools and API Gateway, and supporting production serverless apps with CloudWatch and X-Ray. It even includes the creation of a continuous delivery pipeline from GitHub. This path leverages the AWS CDK that we mentioned earlier in this episode, and the full source code is provided on GitHub. If you're interested in serverless development on AWS, I would highly recommend checking out this path. Now, thank you for joining me for this episode of Cloud Tracker. Be sure to let us know what you want to hear more of on this series moving forward. Also, remember that the links for everything I have discussed today are available within the episode notes. If you know of other people who would benefit from this content, be sure to share it with them. In addition, you can also join me for the latest news for both GCP and Azure on the Cloud Tracker series for those platforms. You can find those on YouTube as well. Be sure to come back next month, where I'll be joining you from the new Pluralsight headquarters in Salt Lake City to give you the latest on AWS here on Cloud Tracker.